In previous video I was listening to the music, then listening to the engine, then looking at something, and then I decided to remove turbocharger. And go up. So in this part I will be looking at something inside of the exhaust channels, the cylinder head. And you can see that in cylinder 4 there is some trace of leaking. Maybe it's oil, maybe it's coolant, I don't know for now. And cylinder 3 seems to be okay without any leaking things. Looks like dry. Cylinder 2 also have this kind of leakage, and cylinder 1. And it looks like I need to do some small disassembling of some stuff on this engine. To take off this manifold you will need to take off this hose using 7mm socket. Disconnect this connector from the throttle. Using 10mm wrench. Next, under this pipe of the EGR system, it's 5 and 30mm socket T30. Next, this pipe of coolant. Every of this is T30. Every bolt. This bolt and this bolt. And this one. Over there. $17mm wrench. You need to undo this high pressure pipe. Then you can press from both sides this retaining clip to remove harness, electrical harness. Next, under these pipes, high pressure to the injectors, 17mm wrench. Disconnect this sensor. This one. And then multi-square bit to the high pressure rail. Now using screwdriver can remove this oh yeah. Now on And all of these bolts, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. Next, using some pliers like this. Wow, really tight. The throttle looks like this. T30 if you need to remove it. Here you go. Now let's take a look into the intake channels, and cylinder 4 is a little bit washed, and every other channel is just wet and dirty from oil and maybe coolant a little bit. Now injectors removal, and you need to unplug connectors and then remove return line. To do so, press from both sides and pull up this retainer. M8. You also need to remove this vacuum pipe. Remove some mounting bracket like this. To pull out injectors more gently, I will be using pipe and screwdriver. It's better to number all injectors with paint marker and also clamping pieces before you remove them. I guess it's coolant, O-ring and copper washers. Mark all injectors. And some diagram of the fuel system and what you need to do in scanner to bleed fuel system. And now you're able to remove valve cover. And some pictures with crankcase gases ventilation inside of this valve cover. It's not the same as in the video, but principle is the same. Oh. Oops. So, one bolt goes. Wow, everything looks so fresh and lubricated with crude oil, probably. Simple gear, simple drive gear, camshaft gear. Not cut in half. Very simple. And if you have this kind of gear on the exhaust camshaft with anti-backlash system, then remember that you need to align two pieces of this gear between each other.
Line the split timing gear teeth.
Or simply saying, you need to preload this gear before installation of the camshaft. And these are the tools for alignment of the camshaft gears, but to be honest, you can do it even without these tools.
A carrier. Simply select the correct adapter for the engine, locate the adapter onto the tool, align the split timing gear teeth with the VSE 7171.06, fit 1.02, secure and carrier frame as a and fit to the cylinder head.
Now glow plugs. Now removal of the vacuum pump. Remove this vacuum. T30 socket. 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts.
Danger! The vacuum pump may, under no circumstances, be dismantled, as the vacuum part could otherwise malfunction. This would result in the failure of the brake booster.
And don't worry, it's a faulty vacuum pump from another 2.0 TDI engine. So basically it has very simple construction. This rotor and vane are rotating from the camshaft movement and creates somehow it creates vacuum. So the main reason that we had to replace this vacuum pump back in the days was a muffled knocking sound coming out from it, and probably that noise was caused by this part over here. And so when the vane rotates, it touches this part, and that probably leads to the wearing out of this vane, which is plastic basically. This picture is only for example, and it's not the same vacuum pump that is in this video. So if you have some kind of muffled knocking sound coming up from the vacuum pump, maybe this is why. Remove this connector. Next, I need to remove this pipe. And also this bolt holds this pipe and this one. There's two of them. First you need to disconnect this pipe system. And only then you have access to these two bolts, the mounting brackets that holds this pipe, metal pipe. Just move somewhere aside. Then you can take off this mounting bracket. Next, this one. And this one nut also, this bracket. Disconnect this vacuum pipe. Also disconnect oil pressure switch on the way. You need to drain some coolant. You can remove this hose to do so and drain. Now this bolt cover. Going off. Now I need to move the belt. And you can set up timing marks now or maybe later after all work that you need to do with cylinder head. One here, one over here. Also you can remove this sprocket. It's 18mm socket to window bolt with a camshaft sprocket, and it look like this. Camshaft oil seal is PTFE. Don't use oil when replacing because it will leak. And this is alignment hole for camshaft sprocket. And you will need 6mm drill bit, something like that, for alignment this sprocket. After removal of the timing belt, undo camshaft sensor and use some thread locker when you be installing. To move on faster with removal of the cylinder head, I will leave this mounting bracket in place for now, and also this tensioner will stay. But to install everything back correctly, you will need to remove this mounting bracket and also maybe coolant pipe that is in front of the engine. Using M12 multi-square bit window cylinder head bolts. And there's no need to remove camshaft retaining frame. To remove cylinder head, you can leave it in place, of course, if you don't need to remove it. This is a sequence of slackening bolts of the cylinder head. Washers. Oops, connector of the oil switch. Okay, I will unplug it. And now cylinder head gasket, and this is how you can identify the cylinder head gasket. And now a closer look at the cylinder block, and it's looking not very much overheated. I would say no signs of big damage inside of the cylinders, and on the pistons also everything looks fine. Now I will undo frame of the camshaft in this sequence. And sometimes you need to hit this frame to be able to remove it, because sealant may glue very well to the surface. And in this place there is guide for the camshaft retaining frame. And from other side, closer to the oil seal, there is another guide for the camshaft carrier. And you can mark position of the camshaft gears against each other. It will be easier to install them back. To remove valves, you need to press on the spring, then remove keepers, retainer and spring. Also, it's better to number all the valves, and this is how you can measure clearance between valve, stem and guide. And now, what is going on with this cylinder head? Well, the main problem are some small cracks between valve seats, and it's all because of the overheating, and the consequences of this overheating are more noticeable on the cylinder 3, and on every other cylinder there are cracks in between exhaust valves. Well, it looks like someone have a really good time with this Passat on the off-road. And so we have a crack along the entire length of the cylinder head. As you can see, cylinder 1 have a crack, cylinder 2 and cylinder 3 also, cylinder 4. And the main cracks that affecting coolant channels are inside of the cylinder head, and it's hard to show them. And now this is a new cylinder head. And in case if you will need to replace valve seal, it's the same procedure just like in this video. Valve seal.
You can install valve seals in this way or in this.
Some oil side. And 10mm socket, and you can push it all the way. If it sits tight, and
Lap to their seats and now installed.
I didn't record how I lapped valves, but basically it was like that.
Lapping compound on our valve. Lapping, you just rotate it like this. Just as you do this, the sound changes.
Lubricate valve stem before installation. Keepers back in place.
Slightly smash valves with handle of the hammer.
So everything will sit tight.
Tight.
Camshafts are in their initial position, and if you install them correctly, you should be able to fit bolts of the cylinder head easily, just like it's shown
That
in
when
this
our
video.
camshafts are well synchronized, the screws will go in without any problem. Here. Because if a camshaft were to move, the screw wouldn't go in.
And final position of the camshafts, if you don't have special tools, and to make sure that exhaust camshaft is aligned properly, you can do as shown in this video.
I want to show you that this guide for this gear must match up with this one that's on the head. So we're going to put it in place. Should go in smoothly. Friends, we have synchronized the gear and the camshaft.
And you can lubricate gears before you put valve cover on. One more time, this is PTFE oil seal, so there's no need of lubrication when installing. And pay attention, this oil seal is, let's say, a little bit reverse, and sealing lip is pointed outside comparing to the normal oil seal lip. There's signs telling you that you need to install outside. This side is outside. This way. No oil needed to install.
Important. The PTFE oil seal must be installed dry.
In order to guarantee that the PTFE oil seal will optimally perform its function, a minimum 4 hours should pass after assembly and before the shaft is moved or rotated.
I will apply sealant on the surface of the cylinder head, just like in the manual, but usually it's better to apply sealant on the surface of the camshaft retaining frame to be more precise. So start this cover. Clean surface of the engine block and lay down gasket. Sometimes to choose right thickness of the head gasket you need to do some measurements. And before you put new gasket on, clean holes for the cylinder head bolts.
And set up pistons below TDC.
New bolts. Also apply fresh oil on the tread and under the head of the bolts. First you put washers inside and only then bolts. I'll be using this tightening sequence that was with head gasket instruction. Try to rotate torque wrench without stopping until it clicks, so you will get more precise tightening torque. And install everything else if you need. And if you will need to check inside of the oil pan, maybe this video will help. And to install timing belt, this video. In the end of the work, don't forget to add new oil and check level on the dipstick. To bleed cooling system, you can remove one of the hoses. I prefer upper one of the heater. Then clamp this hose with pliers like this and wait until coolant flow from the pipe of the heater. To take off this hose, you need to pull out retaining clip, coolant capacity and other fluids in this chart. And this is how you can refill coolant system and check level in the expansion tank, and diagram for coolant hoses and tightening torques for mount brackets. And thank you for watching this video to the end.